What's up, everybody? It's JT Sports, and I'm back to you guys with another NFL draft grades video. In this video, I'm going to be doing the AFC West. Now, before I begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. My goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers. So help me reach that goal by subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell icon so you never miss a video. And also timestamps if you just want to see your teams and don't want to watch the whole video. If you just want to skip to your team, the timestamps will be down in the description down below. So let's get started. So the first team I have is the Denver Broncos. Now I think the Denver Broncos had a pretty solid draft. They had the 10th overall pick, but they ended up trading that to the Pittsburgh Steelers and ended up trading down to the 20th overall pick. Well, they kind of surprised me. I knew that they needed a tight end, but they went ahead and they selected Noah Fant out of Iowa. Now, I don't got no problem with this pick. I actually like this pick a lot. Joe Flacco, over this course of his NFL career, when he was playing for the Baltimore Ravens, the Ravens drafted 8 tight ends in the NFL draft. So they give him a weapon. Noah Fant, super athletic, super freaky. This dude is an absolute nightmare to cover for linebackers. He's too big for safeties, too fast for most linebackers. And I really, really like this pick. And I think Noah Fant, in my opinion, is the best tight end or was the best tight end prospect in this draft class. They also in the second round got Dalton Reisner from Kansas State. I was very high on him as well. I had the first round grade on him. I think he's going to be very good. I think he's probably going to move to offensive guard, but I think he's going to be a pretty good pro. Now the Drew Lock pick, at first I wasn't really high on. I mean, I thought they should have went Greedy Williams since we don't really know what's going to happen with Chris Harris Jr. if the Denver Broncos are going to be able to pay him what he wants or if they're going to end up trading him. But I'm a little bit sold on the Drew Lock pick. I mean, they got him in the second round. It's not like they were going to take him 10th overall. If they would have took him 10th overall, would have had a problem. But the Drew Lock pick, I feel a little bit better about it. Still not very high on it. I still felt they could have went other positions, but I mean, Drew Lock is a guy who can sit for a couple of years. And John Elway said they're not going to rush Drew Lock. He's going to be similar to like how the Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre situation was. So the grade that I give the Denver Broncos is a B. I think the Denver Broncos had a very productive draft. I would have liked to see them take a wide receiver a little bit early on because they have a pretty solid wide receiving core. It's just that we don't really know what's going to happen with Emmanuel Sanders. I don't know if John Elway plans on bringing him back after this year or whatnot. So I would have liked them to draft a wide receiver a little bit early on. But overall, they had a pretty productive draft. I like the Draymond Jones pick a lot. I actually think I had him mocked to the Denver Broncos in my 7th round mock draft for the Denver Broncos. I also like the Justin Hollins pick. Very, very productive edge rusher for the University of Oregon and had a very good senior bowl. The Denver Broncos overall had a pretty solid draft. The next team that we have are the Oakland Raiders. Now, the Oakland Raiders, right? They drafted Cleveland Farrell 4th overall. Now, some Oakland Raiders fans were a little bit upset because a lot of Oakland Raider fans really wanted Josh Allen, and that seemed to be the most likely pick with Quentin Williams being taken the pick before to the New York Jets. But instead, they ended up taking Cleveland Farrell. Now, I can see why some Oakland Raiders fans were upset because Cleveland Farrell is more like a top 15 pick instead of a top 5 pick, but this guy was very productive in college as well. He was a force to be reckoned with on that defensive side of the ball. Playing at the University of Clemson with Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins, I think he's going to be a very, very good pro for the Oakland Raiders. And I think Oakland Raider fans, when they look 5 years later down the road, I think they're going to look at this pick and they're going to be like, you know what, that's actually a pretty solid pick. Even though Josh Allen, I probably would have went with Josh Allen because I thought maybe Coach Gruden would have want to, make up for trading away Khalil Mack. And what better way to make up for trading away Khalil Mack than selecting the closest thing to Khalil Mack that we will ever see in Josh Allen. But overall, I think that was a pretty okay pick. I'm not going to bash it. They also took Josh Jacobs, 24th overall, which was a very, very good pick. A lot of people felt that he was going to go to the Oakland Raiders. Jonathan Abram, who I had going to the Oakland Raiders in my 7th round mock draft for the Oakland Raiders. And then they drafted Trayvon Mullen, Max Crosby, Isaiah Johnson, Hunter Renfro. They filled a lot of needs on the defensive side of the ball. So the grade I'm going to give the Oakland Raiders is a B plus. Now I don't know if this is a little high for most people, but I think the Oakland Raiders, other than the Cleveland Farrell pick, even though he was a need and they did feel that need, most people will consider that a reach. They had a very, very good draft, and I think they deserve to have a B plus grade. And they should be a little bit improved on the defensive side of the ball. I'm not expecting a major jump since most of these guys are rookies, but they should be a little bit better on the defensive side of the ball than what they were last year. And with a couple of years, 2, 3 years, the Oakland Raiders are potentially going to have a very good secondary. Now moving on to the LA Chargers. Now the LA Chargers, I feel, had a very, very good draft. I mean, in the 1st round, they took Jerry Tillery, defensive tackle out of Notre Dame, who I had mocked to go to the LA Chargers, and my second mock draft, my last mock draft actually, and I felt that would be a very, very good pick. He can rush the passer and he can stop the run. Very explosive guy, and I felt he was highly underrated coming in to the NFL draft. All people were talking about were guys like Krista Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence, and Ed Oliver. But I feel Jerry Tillery was very good in his own right. He was very dominant at Notre Dame as well. And then in the 2nd round, they just got a beautiful pick, selecting safety Nazir Adderley, who has been a small school guy who risen up the draft boards somewhere around the Senior Bowl, near NFL Combine, somewhere in between that range. Some people felt he could sneak into the 1st round, but he ended up going to the LA Chargers. That's a very good pickup. Now you have him and Derwin James. That's going to be a very good secondary for years to come. They selected the offensive tackle. They also got a linebacker out of Notre Dame. And they drafted maybe the quarterback of the future in Easton Stick. Now, Easton Stick, I wasn't really high on Easton Stick. Thought he was overrated. He wasn't really that impressive to me, like how Carson Wentz was at North Dakota State. But I mean, with some development, maybe this guy could be Phillip Rivers' replacement when Phillip Rivers decides to hang it up. So the grade I'm going to give the LA Chargers is a minus because they got Jerry Tillery, their defensive line got better, and their safety position. I mean, that safety position, Darren James and Nazir Adderley, that is going to be a very, very good secondary for the next 6 to 7 years. And Nazir Adderley with Darren James, I don't think it can get any better than that. The Chargers had a very good draft. We have the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs, they suspended Tyreek Hill indefinitely. The investigation is opened up again going into the child abuse. So we don't really know his future going forward. That should be decided Monday. Now they selected Miko Hartman, which he's a speed demon. I mean, they came out and then they automatically replaced Tyreek Hill. This guy's a speed demon. I'm looking forward to seeing how Andy Reid gets him involved. I mean, at Georgia, this guy was an electric punt returner, kick returner. So they basically got Tyreek Hill, but the 2.0 version, Miko Hardman is going to be. I think he's going to have an impact year for the Kansas City Chiefs. They also selected Thornhill, the safety out of Virginia. I was high on him a lot. And also Kalen Sanders, who was a sleeper. His draft stock started rising up near the NFL Combine. Small school guy out of Western Illinois. He's going to be pretty good. He's going to help out that Kansas City Chiefs defensive line. They also selected a cornerback, Rashad Fenton, Durham Thompson out of Utah State. So I think this was a pretty good draft for the Kansas City Chiefs. And the grade I'm going to give them is a B plus. They had a pretty good draft. I mean, I really, really like the Miko Hardman pickup because Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, it's just not a better team that he could have went to. Maybe Tampa with Bruce Arians because of that offensive scheme. Bruce Arians likes to throw the ball vertically, but Miko Hardman with Andy Reid's going to find a lot of ways to get this guy the ball. Jet sweeps, reverses, screens, all kinds of plays. I'm just excited to see how Miko Hardman gets the ball in his hands and how Andy Reid finds a way to get the ball in his hands. And this is it for my AFC West NFL draft grades for this year. Make sure to like the video, comment what you think down in the comment section down below, and also make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss any new NFL videos. And thanks for watching.